Text me when you get home.
You're listening to Exposure on Radio X. I'm John Kennedy, and that is this weekend's brand new Exposure big one. It is Loud Women with Reclaim These Streets. It was played last weekend, and it's finally come out this weekend. And I'm very pleased to say, although I don't normally do this with the Exposure big ones, but I'm very pleased to say that I've got three of the people involved and participating and audible on that track hooked up to me online. So there's Cassie Fox. Hello, Cassie.
Hello.
There's Miri. Hello, Miri.
Hey, John.
And there's Janey Starling as well. Hello, Janey.
Hi, John.
So it's great to have you all here. Now, Cassie, you're the leader of this gang, in that you started the Loud Women organisation, you started the record label, you put on those events, and you wrote this song and got an all-star cast involved. What happened?
I have to say, it was in the aftermath of Sarah Everard's death and the events that happened after her death, and kind of seeing what was happening on the news and the police telling women to stay at home, and just feeling so frustrated that we're kind of 2021 and we're still living in a world where women are feeling scared to walk down the street by themselves. So I just wanted to do something, and it kind of felt like writing a song was, just about the only thing that I could do. And obviously through running Loud Women, I know loads of amazing musicians and singers who I thought possibly might be up for it. I thought maybe a few of them might be. But as it turns out, we've ended up with 64 amazing voices on this project, which is incredible. And immediately I kind of posted up the idea of doing a song. I thought maybe we'd do a cover first of all. And then I thought, well, no, because then you'll get into kind of royalties and, having to pay someone, I just want all the money to go to a good cause, which is Women's Aid is the cause that we've chosen for this. So I sat down and wrote a song, which kind of, I must say, I should say I've laboured over it for ages, but it actually took about half an hour. It just kind of, the words wrote themselves really, and I think everyone who's listened to the words of the songs as well have really related with the themes of, kind of walking home with keys between your fists and texting your friend when you get home, and all these things that are just part of everyday life. If you're a woman or non-binary person, just going about your everyday business, it's all really familiar. So I kind of put the call out for the vocalists to get involved, and just amazing responses from the DIY community coming forward to play instruments and to sing.
Yeah, I mean, we can't speak to all 64 people at once, unfortunately. It would be a bit chaotic, but we do have MIRI and Janey. And so, I mean, what did you hear? Did you just see the request and say, yeah, I want to be part of that? Or did Cassie share the song with you so that you could see what you were getting involved with?
Cassie dropped me an email with the song and said what it was for. And I was, just like, yes, straight away. And, like Cassie said, the energy going on at the time, I mean, I felt really angry. And I think just being able to be involved in this project, it's empowering, but it's an opportunity to take action. And being told that the solution is to stay at home. Like, I've got two younger nieces, and I don't want them growing up being told that you've got to be scared, and that, the way to deal with these issues is basically to feel fear. So being involved in this project is a way to empower oneself, but also hopefully send a really empowering message to other people, to kind of really move forward and keep the conversation going, even if the media has stopped talking about it.
And Janey, you work in this sphere in terms of, for quite a few years, you've been involved in various charities that have been trying to protect and look after women in various different terrible situations.
Absolutely, yeah. So I run a feminist campaigning organisation called Level Up, and prior to that, I've worked in domestic abuse for my entire kind of career. And actually, I think the lyric that strikes me most in this song is every woman's got a story. And actually, if we look at each woman's story, every single person we know as a thread, when we weave those threads together, it just creates a tapestry that is so, so violent, and it's systemically violent. So we live in a country where 2 women a week are murdered by a partner or ex-partner. We know that 97% of women are harassed. It's such a huge problem, and yet it just becomes the everyday fabric of our society. So the more opportunities and the more platforms we have to keep talking about the issue and just saying, let's not normalize this. Let's not tell women to stay at home, because statistically they're more likely to be harmed in their own home by someone that they know and love. And let's just keep saying, this isn't normal, we're not safe, this needs to change. And I think this song does it perfectly.
Yeah, totally. What level of readiness, Cassie, did you send it out? I mean, because you've got a kind of super group playing the music, you know, members of My Bloody Valentine and Salad and T-Bitch are all there. Did you ready the music first and then get everybody to sing? And then when you did sing, did you record your part separately at home?
Well, I did demo it at home. I've got, as you can see here, I've got a full recording studio here.
As we peer into your world, Cassie, I can see a piano and a whole load of records and a nice big Loud Women poster, and there's a guitar and maybe a banjo on the wall as well.
Yeah, so I've been entertaining myself over lockdown. But yeah, my husband actually demoed the bass and guitar, and I sang on it, and then he was very quickly wiped off of the recording by some proper people. No, sorry, I won't say that. No, he was replaced by Deb Gooch of My Bloody Valentine.
Right, so she's
amazing bass line on it.
It is an amazing bass line, and I did wonder whether that was Deb Gooch. I mean, that's such a great sound, obviously.
Yeah, it's kind of real trademark fuzzy bass. Is amazing, kind of hits you straight away. And then Charlie Stone on guitar, and also Jen Macro of Hurtling on guitar as well. Who else have we got? Stevie B of T-Bitch on drums. Yeah, that was the band recorded separately within kind of a week, really, I think, of me demoing it. And then I sent that out to vocalists who were recording remotely. And then we had a day, didn't we? Kind of Janey and MIRI came along with Brick Smith. And oh gosh, who else was there? Nadia Javed. There was about 10 of us went to Dean Street recording studio, which we were donated. So we had a day there for free, which was amazing. So we were kind of socially distanced, recorded our vocals there, and then on top of that, we had loads of kind of sent in vocals from all over the world, kind of bands from America, Ireland, Austria. And then John Clayton of One Cat recording studio put those all together and had the kind of huge onerous task of putting together this jigsaw of vocals. I think he had like 200 tracks on his computer at one point. So it was, it's taken a while, but it's sounding pretty good, I think.
Yeah, I think it sounds amazing. So in effect, you have a real girl gang choir in a studio, and then that's augmented by about 50 other people as well, kind of layered, I suppose, on top. And yeah, I mean, the effect is fantastic. But I think at the core of it is this amazing song that you've written, Cassie. And part of me, you know, just looking at the roll call of people involved, part of me wants to hear individual versions of this song. I think it would, the Loud Women organisation now has representatives on a few different continents. So you've got people in the US, both sides, in New York and LA. You've got people in Canada representing Loud Women, in Australia and different parts of Europe. And it would be interesting if each of those areas did their own version, I think, or maybe individuals involved could do their own version. I'd love to hear an acoustic version with just one voice. I think it'd be a really cool thing. I think you should, or maybe I'm hoping that people would hear this suggestion and start doing their own versions, because then,
Yeah, I think there's all sorts of remixed opportunities here. I mean, I've just got a computer absolutely full of people's voices, because everybody sent in, loads of people sent in the full song as well. So yeah, I've got a lot of versions of this song here,
wow,
ready to go.
That sounds great. I mean, Gemma Cullingford would do a great electronic version. So if you can reignite and get them all to do these individual versions, I think that would be fantastic, because it just seems to me that the song unfortunately, the meaning of the song is not going to become irrelevant very soon. This issue it's an issue that has faced women for centuries and centuries and centuries, but we're trying to implement a change, as Brick Smith says. That's the whole idea. I really like that line, that only takes desire to implement change. And the desire is there. I think both in terms of for both men and women. Nobody wants to live in a society like this.
No, exactly. I think all of us feel like that, and it was interesting actually when Brix came into the project. Her feeling was that a lot of the song was kind of focusing on the fear and kind of people living in a world of fear. So her contribution to the song was that middle eight. Rap, spoken word kind of passage that she wrote herself, wanting to kind of inject some positivity and a kind of coming together of sisterhood and solidarity and and kind of finding a way to the light. So that was Brix's amazing contribution there as well. Her other contribution was bringing on board Siobhan Fahey, which I was blown away as a huge Bananarama fan. It was amazing. She phoned me up and she said, "I'm just sitting here with my friend Siobhan. She'd like to sing on it as well." I was like, "Okay, yeah, sure, whatever." Siobhan, who is it? Siobhan Fahey. He's like, "Oh, okay, yeah." I was like, yes, she can. It's okay.
That is amazing. I mean, just hearing that conversation, it makes me think, there could be a US version and you'd get Patti Smith and Debbie Harry singing on it, and Kathleen Hanna and Joan Jett. Or why not? I think the sky's the limit. But it would be great if that did happen, because it would just reinforce this message and spread it further and further afield, which would be really exciting. And as I say, at the core of it is an amazing song. I mean, you described it, Cassie, in your press release for the Loud Women organisation as a feminist band-aid, and made the point that Siobhan Fahey actually sang on the Band-Aid single, which is kind of amazing.
So she was one of four women who sang on the original Band-Aid. So when we thought we're doing a feminist Band-Aid, we definitely needed one of those four, and Siobhan seemed the most punk rock of those. So
yeah, fantastic. So we should say that the release is now. It's available now, and anybody who buys it or streams it will be raising money for Women's Aid, the UK charity. And where's the best place to buy or stream?
The best way to show solidarity for this song is if you go to loudwomen.org, and there's links there where you can donate direct to the Women's Aid link, and then the money is just going straight into Women's Aid, and they'll know that it's come via this song. So that's the best way. But if you also want to stream it, it's on all the streaming platforms, or you can find it on the Loud Women Bandcamp. That's about it, really.
And Women's Aid, I mean, maybe Janey, you could explain more about the work that they do.
So Women's Aid are one of the leading domestic abuse charities, and they genuinely save women's lives. So from providing free online resources and support to women who effectively know that they're unsafe in their relationships but might not know what to do about it, to actually, helping women access refuges, giving them advice to really get out of very harmful places safely. And I really don't know what our society would look like without them. And I think what's also worth mentioning is that charities like Women's Aid have had their budgets cut by the government so savagely, and the state has really turned its back on keeping women safe. So, now we're in a position where we have to keep each other safe, and every single penny and pound that goes to these organisations genuinely makes a difference between life or death for women.
Really well explained there. So, everybody listening knows what to do. Go and buy and support this single, because it also sounds amazing. And the interesting thing is that in a way, I mean, you tackle fear in it. It's angry, but it is also joyful somehow. Hearing all those voices together and the drive and the energy of the music as well. It is a joyful sound that you've created.
Thank you. Yeah, I think so as well. I mean, I kept crying when I first listened to it. It was just so emotional hearing all of these voices, especially when they were kind of singing in isolation as well, kind of coming together. It was, I still cry every time I listen to it.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
I think there can be a lot of joy. I think there can be a lot of joy in acknowledging our collective anger, because our anger kind of isolates us and we internalize it so much. And it's only in spaces where we can name it and name it collectively that it becomes very powerful.
Definitely. Thank you all for hooking up online to tell us more about this. And there is a plan to try and get this performed live at the next Loud Women Festival, which is taking place on the 18th of September, which is, fingers crossed that all goes according to plan. Obviously, you weren't able to stage the event last year, but how are you going to get 64 people on stage, Cassie?
Everything's a bit of a pipe dream at the moment, isn't it? So we don't really know what's going to happen with pandemic-wise. But yeah, that would be amazing, wouldn't it? If we got 64 singers plus band. Don't forget the full band as well. But yeah, we'll see. Maybe some kind of version anyway of the song will be performed at Loud Women Fest. If and when, hopefully, kind of crossing everything and touching all wood, it can go ahead. But yeah, that's 18th of September at 229 venue in central London.
Excellent. Thank you again for talking to me, and thanks for putting this single together. It's a real achievement, and it sounds absolutely brilliant. It sounds so good, I think I should play it again. So here it is. This is Reclaim These Streets. It is Loud Women on Exposure Radio X.